the very last week of taking care of Cornish cross chickens. This can be nerve-wracking, it can be exciting, it can be a little scary if you've never done it before, or even if you have done it. But there's a few things that you're gonna wanna check before you go ahead and just process these chickens just because they hit the date that they said they're gonna hit. And we wanna talk to you guys about what we do and the whole process here on the very last week before that time comes. It is getting to that point for us where our Cornish cross chickens, which is the breed that we're raising for meat this time around, is ready for harvesting basically. They are going on to be about 8 weeks old. 8 weeks is about the time frame where you are ready to process these chickens. But for us, before we make that call, we always like to do a little bit more evaluating, make sure that it is truly the time to do it, because as soon as you do it, you can't take it back. So we want to make sure the chickens are ready to go. So this weekend, these Cornish cross chickens right here that you can see that I just gave them a little bit more feed. This is actually their second feeding today, which I'll explain here in a second. But this is it. This is the time basically for them. It is Monday as I am filming this at this moment. And this weekend is when we plan to process these chickens because they'll be 8 weeks old. So they're basically 7 weeks old in a day, maybe 2 days right now. So there's about 4 to 5 days before we're gonna think about processing these guys and getting them into our freezer to help supply meat for our family. But before we go ahead and just do that, we wanna make sure that most of these guys are at a good size. So what I'm gonna do here real quick is do a little bit of an evaluation, take a look at some of them, and then I'll show you kind of ones that I feel like might be a little smaller, and maybe I'll try to grab a few of the big guys so you can see the difference. So this guy right here, which is a female, this is a hen. This one is smaller. You can't really tell too much on camera, but maybe I'll try to grab one of the big guys. No. I can tell that this one is smaller because my hands are kind of going all the way around, which on ones that are nice size right now, you can't do that. I'm gonna put this one back because they don't like being held for very long. But this one right here would make me be cautious to process them if today was the day. All right, go back. So this guy right here, you can see that my arms look like it can go all the way around, but I'm having a lot harder time doing it. He's probably maybe about a pound. I say he because you can see that comb and waddle mean that this is gonna be a rooster. And my arms are having a little bit harder time, so it might be about a pound difference. It's a little bit heavier. So this chicken would be a little bit more ready, and I wouldn't mind doing it for this guy. All right, we're gonna get him back too. So what does that mean for us? What does that mean if you're having some chickens that look ready, some chickens that aren't? 2 things you can do. So you're probably wondering, how did you get here? Why is there such a big difference between a few of the chickens you're raising? Number 1, it could just be the amount of feed you're giving. The smaller ones might be getting bodied out, might not be eating much. Number 2 might be the amount of chickens that you have in a certain area, because then they are still the same kind of idea, competing for the feed. Some might just grow a little slower than the rest. So if you have this going on where you don't feel like they're all ready to go and you're about a week away, there's 2 things that you can do. Number 1, you can continue to raise these chickens, move this chicken tractor every single day, feed them for 1 extra week, raise them for about 9 weeks. Depending on how you take care of them, they should be fine to live to 9 weeks old. So that's not a worry for us. The second thing you can do, and this is what we're gonna try to do this week, is feed them multiple times, if not 3 times. Give them more feed than normal here this week. Really pile on the calories for these guys. So whether you want to pay them more feed to raise them for another week, or you want to just double up the feed for the very last week, which is what we're going to do, it's gonna be about the same amount of feed. The problem is, like us, you're probably like, hey, like I am going to process chickens this weekend. You've had it on your plans, you've had it on your schedule, and you have other things to do other weekends. So we're gonna make sure that we are going to be processing these chickens this weekend. So we are going to feed them up and get them fat here this last week. So if you're like us and you are about to process chickens, or you're thinking about getting your chickens for the very first time that you're gonna raise for meat to help supply your family, first off, congratulations if you're your first time doing it, or even if it's your 10th, 11th time doing it. It's always a day that not necessarily that we look forward to in the sense of the terms of what the action is going on for it, but the rewarding feeling and what we're going to reap because of us doing this is definitely one of those feelings that is just really humbling. And we feel really blessed to be able to have this opportunity to be able to do this and supply for our own family this way. So if you are doing this, if you are thinking about what do you need for this, if you've never done it before, or even if you have, but you feel like you kind of just get by and it works, and you're wondering, what do you need to be able to make this work? We just made a checklist that is a free printable. I'm gonna put it in the description so you guys can pull it up, print it out so that you have a checklist to go through, and it has every single item that you're gonna need. We've also made a video here last year, maybe around September, which kind of shows our setup and items that we use. So if you need more of a kind of like hands-on, it's not really hands-on I guess, but a more visual of the items that we use and how we do it, there's that also. I'm gonna put both of those in our description so you guys can go ahead and go look at those. This will be the most chickens that we've ever done at one time. We said that last year, we said that the year before. We're always adding more and more on. This year right now we have 21 chickens in this chicken tractor, and we plan on getting another about 25 come fall to make sure that we get about over 40 total chickens that we're gonna harvest for the year. So we're excited. For those of you that watched our previous video, you know that we have a chicken in here that, yes, her nickname is Murder Mama, because unfortunately she was pecking baby chicks right when they would hatch and killing them before they ever got to really experience life. And not only was she doing that, she was really mean to just any of the chickens that were around her. She's just not a good hen, to be honest with you guys. Ever since removing her, putting her in here, the rest of the flock has been completely changed. Everyone gets along just fine. Where we used to think that was just a little bit of a meaner flock sometimes. Nope, just one mean hen. So she will also be a part of those Cornish cross chickens being processed. And sometimes that's just gotta happen. You can't keep a mean chicken around. Real quick, I wanted to state this. I did make a post here on YouTube which kind of went over why we did something that happened earlier with these Cornish cross chickens that a lot of people questioned, a lot of people wondered why'd we do that, and I don't think they were meaning it as in like, hey, like you're wrong, you can't do that, but they were trying to say their tips and ideas of ways that we should have done something. And since if you didn't see that post, I kind of wanted to state it right now, is that at one point, these chickens, we probably just brought them out here basically, so this was probably about a good 3 weeks ago at this point, maybe 4 weeks ago. One of our Cornish cross chickens ended up having a really bad cut on its neck where the blood and red was really bad and the neck was really open. We didn't do anything about it. We actually stood around, kind of watched the chicken's behavior. I didn't see any pecking going on. So I wasn't afraid that that chicken was actually gonna get hurt by any of these chickens inside here. And a lot of people posted, there's a thing called blue coat. They also posted a few other things that we could have put on the neck. And anything that is not a completely natural way or something that we know that our body can consume, we do not want to put on our chickens, especially ones that we're raising for meat, but also our egg layers. So we went ahead and took the chance. We could have separated the chicken if we felt like it was getting picked on, but it was not. We put the chicken back in there, it is fully healed, and at this point, I guess maybe if I was to look at all their necks in here, I might find which one it is, but I can't tell anymore. They all have quite a bit of dang feathers on them now, and there's no way to tell which chicken that is. But that chicken survived, that chicken did just fine, and sometimes you just have to go with your gut. Our gut was saying that that chicken was gonna be safe in there, and it worked out. I know sometimes that's not always the case, but we just wanted to state that so that you can see sometimes it's not always something that you feel like you have to do. There's different ways to do everything, and don't be afraid to try something out. Unfortunately, that's part of homesteading. It's the fun part sometimes when it works, and it's also the very sad part when it doesn't. The whole entire cost that it takes to take care of those chickens because I know a lot of people are interested. Like, we have 21 of them in there and they want to know, well, if we were to get 21 chickens, what would that cost us? And they like to kind of like price it out and see, is it worth it for them and their families? So we do know that. We've been charting things down and writing them down for you guys, because normally we're not that very good at it, but we're trying to get better so that we can teach you guys and kind of show you all the ins and outs. So we are going to put together a cost benefit of raising these chickens. Real quick, I think Murder Mama is laying some more eggs in here, so I want to make sure I can get them out of here. It looks like she laid 3. And that's about it, guys. That's everything that we have going on, and that's what you want to look for when you get ready to raise these guys, especially in the very last week. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. We'll see you in the next one.